Alright, what's up folks? Welcome to the first official discussion episode of Never Knows Best / gaming, I guess because we're doing this side by side with the gameplay I'm doing of Celeste. I put out the video yesterday of the level 1 gameplay, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. Like, I think it's a really great game. Matt Makes Games Incorporated has put this down, and much like their last effort, Towerfall Ascension, this is just a good game. It's just well done, the artistry is good, the controls are super tight. Like, it's one of those games where, I said it in the gameplay before, if you screw up, you screwed up, and you know it, and you don't feel bad about the fact that you've lost. You figure, what did I do wrong? How can I do it better? And I think that's how gameplay really should be. You know. Anyways, so Celeste, right? You're this girl, Madeline, you need to climb this mountain. Not a whole lot is said just yet about why you need to climb this mountain, but it seems pretty clear that it's a personal obstacle that you need to surmount, right? Surmounting the mountain. I feel like there's a pun there, but I'm not skilled enough to make it yet. First person that you meet is this old lady who lives at the base of the mountain, and she tries to warn you, this mountain doesn't play fair, it doesn't play nice, and if you can't even handle the first leg, you might want to go ahead and turn back. But, you know, Madeline's quite stubborn. She's not trying to hear that. She needs to get to the top of this mountain. And you head across this bridge. The bridge almost kills you, and you pass through the prologue. Then you move into the actual gameplay, and it's just something else. Puzzle platformers have been a thing. Like, some of the best games of all time have been puzzle platformers. Some of the most popular and most successful games. Super Mario Brothers, Metroid, Rayman. I mean, come on, who doesn't remember Rayman? You may not have played it, but you know what that little guy looks like, and you know about them raving rabbits, right? So, this one kind of takes the whole trope of a puzzle platformer and tries to add a new age sensibility without adding a whole bunch of extra crap that's not necessary. The gameplay is, on the surface, really simple. It's just, you can jump, you can climb, you can dash. That's it. That's what we give you. And it very quickly becomes, how pixel perfect, how good is your timing, how good is your eyesight, how good is your ability to explore. Did you see that crack in the wall? Did you see that enemy in the particular way that it moved? Did you figure out the way that you could use that to your advantage to get something you couldn't get before? I've played through this game more than once, and it never stops doing that. Once you get through the main story, once you defeat everything the game has to offer on a surface level, well, first of all, there's this mini game, Pico 8, and Pico 8 is apparently the game that this was inspired by. I don't know if it was by the same people, but it definitely, like, you can see the similarities between the two games, and Pico 8 apparently came first. Now we've got this upgraded version, but you can still play through Pico 8. You can try and work on getting your timing down in that completely different setting. But then there's also the B-sides, which I thought was a really cool thing. Is, okay, so we not only have a remix for the music of this level, but we also have a remixed level that's way harder, and it doesn't just make you stretch what you've already learned, it teaches you brand new things. You learn how to do this, like, dash cancel jump that allows you to, like, get some extra speed and do a long jump, but still keep a dash. Like, it's amazing that they just keep on putting more in. Like, these are basically glitches or, like, programming errors, in a sense, that you wouldn't normally think of to use as a gameplay mechanic, and then they built levels around these little programming oddities. That's amazing. That's just showing that any game can go even further. Any game has replayability if you're willing to look deep into it. And the good programmers right now, the good game production companies are looking into how to use that instead of going into, oh, I need to get some more DLC, get you guys to pay again for an extra, 15 hours of gameplay. Screw you on that DLC thing, by the way. I'm just not really a fan. Anyway, but this game just goes above and beyond in the concepts of level design, in the concept of musical and sound engineering, in the concept of taking simple gameplay and making something brand new out of it. And then story-wise, now this is a whole other thing. I love the story of Celeste. You start out with this girl with this mountain in front of her, and whether you want to take it as literal or metaphorical, either way, this is a situation where somebody really, really needs to get to the top and, in a sense, to the bottom of what's going on. And one of the themes here seems to be the concept of, I don't know, self-discovery, coming around a corner for oneself, maybe even just growing up in a final sort of sense. Madeline is a pretty cool protagonist. She's a little grumpy, she's a little surly, and as we'll see coming up, there may be some other underlying issues that she's trying to get past. But she is plucky, she's got gusto, she's got chutzpah, and I don't know, I really like her. We got the old lady. I really love the old lady. She is so fun. She's quietly sarcastic without being a total dick, and she kind of looks out for us. We'll see as we go through, not in a motherly sense, just in this whole concept of, hey youngin', I've been there before. I may not know what you're going through, but I know that look on your face, so I'm not gonna discourage you, but I want you to be real about what you're facing. And then we got Theo, the only other character we've actually met up to this point in the first level. Theo is cool in this. Okay, so you could look at me as kind of an anti-hipster, although everybody who is older than other people has hipster tendencies, i.e., hey, do you remember that shit? Hey, I knew this before it was cool, whatever. He's this, darker skinned fellow from Seattle. He's got this beard going on. He's got this kind of pompadour hairstyle. But he's not pretentious by himself. Like, he's pretty straight up. You gotta really dig what Theo brings to the table, which is a quiet, calm assessment of a situation seen through the eyes of what some people would call a millennial, but there's some millennials, much like there were people from the last generation and the generation before, who are older than their time instead of being before their time, if that makes any sense. And he's into this Instapics thing. It's definitely an Instagram analog, but he really seems to just be very straightforward, just very open, and very much himself in a big way. And I feel like he'll be a good influence on a lot of people who might think of themselves as, oh, I want to be trendy. Like, look at me right now. I want to get the YouTube channel going. I want to get a little bit of fame for myself. I want to grow a nice, luscious beard. So, Theo's I kind of look up to him. He's trying to get 1,000 followers, and so am I right now.
Like, share, and subscribe.
But so far it seems like it might pull out to be a romantic subplot. I understand there are different endings for the game. But whether it's a romantic subplot or not, it doesn't really need to be. Like, Theo just seems like a cool dude to be friends with, and Madeline seems like a chick who could really use a friend at this point in her life. So, So let's think about some of the other design elements here. So the color scheme in the first couple of levels is really cool. We got this kind of like darkness and blue going on. It's not super dark, but it's clear she's showing up. It's not necessarily early in the day. Maybe she got started a little late and showed up in the afternoon and decided to get up to at least base camp, you know. Like she's going through this. I guess it's the abandoned city, the Forsaken City, where the government tried to set up, you know, a city in the mountains, but nobody wanted to live there, so they were like, "Screw that, we're out." As you're going through, you can see a lot of the design elements. There's definitely spikes everywhere. You gotta wonder, why are there spikes? Like, this is supposed to be a city for people to live in, so why there's these, like, jagged, uniform metal spikes all over the place waiting to stab you in the butt?
I'm not down with the butt stabbings.
I don't get why there's spikes, but I do get why there's, like, a lot of machinery around, like, a lot of stuff that still kind of works. When she steps on certain pads, they'll move and she can jump using the momentum, which also awesome dynamic. Like, very simple game on the surface, but with these small touches of really cool dynamics that you wouldn't expect to find, right? And I must say, I don't remember how much I paid for this game, but it was less than $20. Like, it's not an expensive game. I have the Switch version. I hear that it's out on other systems as well. If you get a chance, seriously, you should look into it. Hashtag not sponsored in any kind of way. I just really like this game. I like this producer. Like, I like these developers. Matt makes games. Matt and his friends are awesome. But like, for such a cheap game, you get such a deep experience, and it's got a lot of replayability. My main file, last time I checked, I died over 3,000 times. But I've also, like, I've gotten every blue crystal heart in the game. I've opened up every B-side. Now I'm just working on the C-side. So 3,000 deaths seems reasonable to me, seeing that you can easily die 100 times in 20 minutes of playing this game, like, easily. It's got a cool mechanic where if you die, for example, you're in a room, you've got to that room, so you're at that room no matter what. And if you die, you, like, immediately start at the beginning of the room. So we're going to get into things where rooms have moving parts and things are happening, and you can immediately, like, if you die, just go ahead and start moving, because you can kind of time the room based on where you begin. Like, when you begin, everything's at a set point, it moves at a set speed so that you can actually get through it. Again, another really cool game aspect, making the game kind of move more to the rhythm of the music, making you move more to the rhythm of the music. And that's one of the things they brought into the B-sides that I really liked. Like, the B-sides, you go and get this tape from this special room, and this tape opens up the harder level, but it's also got a remix. It's like literally a B-side. Like, I don't know, it was clever, I liked it. But in order to get to these tapes, you have to do this rhythm jumping sort of situation, which is pretty awesome. Like, it ties in the visuals and the music, and then you add to that how cool the story is, and you have a pretty awesome experience, all told. And so yeah, at this point, it seems clear that our main character might be a little surly. She's definitely doing this for personal reasons, for some sort of personal growth, and not because she's making any money. This isn't her job. She's not a mountain climber. She's some chick, probably from the suburbs. We don't know where she's from. But I feel like it's going to be a really interesting journey that we get to take together. I know where the story goes, although I don't know all the endings, but I want to talk to you guys on an episode-to-episode basis as we get more story elements and as we figure out more of what's happening, so that we can pull together as a community and kind of go a little deeper. Like, there's so many games out there that are really awesome, that have these huge fandoms that go so deep into what their story is, and I think there's so much to be found in this one that, as a group, as intelligent gamers, as forward-thinking people who consider this sort of crap, we can really dig into this one and find some real meat inside, not just veggies, you know. Let's get some beef going. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. I feel like I've got enough of a voiceover. I can cut together some footage. We'll see how that goes. You guys know I'm still new at this. I'm not great. But let me know what you guys think of this sort of format of video. I might do a lot more of these. If this isn't great, I can put on face cam next time instead of having game footage behind, and we can just face to face it, if you will. But in the meantime, I've been Never. I host the show, Never Knows Best, and thanks for watching. Peace, y'all.